So we why like when I was talking about innovation and things before, so how we practice this thing in terms of practice in our university. So one thing we are good at is combining theory with practice. So it's a mix of different types of instructions. The university uses Business World as a platform for education, and many programs like it's a combination of internship, company visit, guest lecturers, case studies, and then there are many projects for students that help them gain the real world experience and create a network of students, companies, and professorship, like the professors they have come in. So that's how we are combining the theory with practice. So like we have many events that come around the years where many creative ideas are shared. Like in this one, almost 400 to 500 students presented their new venture of project as part of entrepreneurship and business planning course. So there was a lot of different ideas. And in terms of collaboration, the university is also collaborating with many companies, and then there are many challenges or there are many projects coming in inside the company, inside the university. Sorry, I've now been working in the company, so it always come out like that. So there's a challenge that goes around, that is Volvo Car challenge, where we connect companies and students to encourage innovation and entrepreneurship through competition and challenges. So this is called the Innovative Days in Jönköping. So we had a team from Jönköping University. Out of 3 students were from Jönköping universities of this group, which won the challenge. So their idea was like, I think it was about how can we make each trip a journey to remember. Like their idea came from their own experiences and stuff. And then they won this challenge. So the innovation and the learning spirit has always been inside the universities, and it's always been encouraged. And there are many programs that help you like cope up with that type of thinking. Then we have many campuses around the world, but we're talking about Jönköping campus. Sorry. So there are different aspects also which are supported outside the university, like in the Jönköping commune is also helping us. So there's a affiliation that we have with the Science Park. This is more to support the entrepreneurship programs that are inside Jönköping University. So Science Park has a very close relationship with the university. So almost like 70 enterprises are started each year by students. So suppose you have a business idea, and you want to evolve on it. Science Park would help you to evolve that idea, even register your company, and then also give you a space. Like if your idea is making sense for a year to like start your company. And entrepreneurship spirit is quite good in JIPS, actually, Jönköping Business School, which is also recognized as for that. So we have a very close collaboration with these companies, and even many students are doing internship in the companies which are running in Science Park. So we have a very close collaboration with Science Park and on that part. Now I was talking about JIPS. So JIPS in terms is the first business school in Sweden. It's like our business school is proud to be the first in Sweden with double accreditation. This along with global research ranking, entrepreneurship, business family, and materials manufacturing. These are one of the best programs that we have in JIPS. And
Asman, I would like to share a very good news.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I'm interrupting your presentation, but it's a very good news and which has not been updated. Although Jönköping University and all other Swedish universities, we do not believe in international rankings. We do not indulge or participate in international rankings like Times rankings and things like those. We have our own internal system of rankings. But talking about the business school and the university as a whole, we have recently been ranked as top 100 business schools by Financial Times, and we have published that news. Although, as I said categorically, that we do not indulge in international rankings. So Jönköping International Business School, JIBS, which is triply accredited. EQUIS accreditation, as you know, is only less than 1% of the top business schools around the world have EQUIS accreditation. And now, last month, the Jönköping International Business School is within, has been ranked in the Financial Times as among top 100 business schools globally. So this is a good news that I wanted to share with the audience and with you. I'm sorry I couldn't share it much earlier, but now here it is now. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Sayed, for giving that news. When I feel proud when I hear that. That's good. That's a good thing. Yep. And then we move next, like how international our university is. I've seen like students from there are more than 11,000 students in the campus. There are more than 2,000 international students from all over the globe, from Asia, Europe, US. There are many students coming in all around the year, especially in exchange programs, in terms of full-time programs. And we have a very much international faculty. There are people from all around the globe, I'll say. Russia, then England, then US, who are part of a faculty. So this is how global the university. So the main agenda is also to highlight like how much global the university is. It's not only limited to the students who are in Sweden, but also around Europe and all over the world. So that was a agenda of showing this slide. Then how much collaboration we're having with in terms of different universities. We have these universities, University of Texas, Meng Technological University, then Northumbria universities. These are one of the some universities, like we have much more universities. So from where we get exchange visiting faculty, sorry, I forgot the name. So the visiting faculty who visit us for some programs, whom they're carrying on for a weeks or for a semester or for a month. And then also we have exchange programs, tie up with these students. Exchange program is something like where you can spend a semester abroad in one of these universities.
On the exchange program, I would like to add that we have exchange agreements with Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, Indian Institute of Management, Calcutta, Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore. Earlier, we had the 5 IIMs, including IIMs Lucknow and IIMs Kozhikode, but because the last 2 IIMs, their standards were not compatible with us, so we had to do away with the agreements we had with them. In the technical, in the School of Engineering realm, we have exchange and research agreement with Indian Institute of Technology Madras, so much so that students who are enrolled with us are Indian students who come study at the School of Engineering. They are allowed to do a semester at Indian Institute of Technology Madras, IITM, IIT Chennai, and that is a very good thing. That is that adds more feather to a student's cap who can go. Normally, exchange students are not allowed to go to their home countries, but here there's a special agreement where our students can go and study at IIT Madras, IIT Chennai, and that is a really good thing.
Yep. Oh, that is there. So even I applied for some exchange, but I didn't go because I found an internship in Sweden. So I was doing the internship with Thule. Very funny incident happened that I did apply, but I didn't say no to them. So the 3rd semester, actually, I was supposed to study in Italy. And when I got into the college after my internship, they said, okay, you are not enrolled. Then I had to go back and tell them, okay, no, I am not going. So those flexibility is also there. Yeah, not talking about that. Okay, the pathway programs. Pathway programs are something where you can enroll if you if you have a low score in IELTS and you want to get inside the university. Also, that gives you a benefit of learning the Swedish culture by being there and being better prepared for in terms of the culture and also getting familiar with Sweden and things. So depending on your IELTS score and depending on your feasibility, you can choose pathway programs of a year, a semester, or a summer. More information about this is available on the website. So as I said, like the English language preparation and reading, these things are being helped in the pathway program. Then how when you reach early, like before the program starts, you get accustomed to the Swedish culture, making your life easier to be in Sweden. And also, like, it helps you to support in adjusting the demands of Sweden, like in terms of higher education. And after you complete your pathway program, there is an agreement that you get direct entry to a degree program in Jönköping University. So that was about the pathway program. Let's see, we have many programs in bachelor's as well as in master levels, like which we are conducting in English. In terms of bachelor's, we have these programs like related to business, like economics management, marketing management. Then we have some technological courses also, that is new media design, something related to biotechnology also, prosthetics and orthotics. But we have much more programs in masters that are covered in English. So we have some technological programs also, like the AI engineering. Then we have which one was that? Yeah, user experience design. And we have business programs that some of them are for 2 years, some of them are for 1 year. Some programs are very good, like the supply chain management. Then we have in terms of if you talk about the technical school, then we have product engineering and management, product design. Even that faculty is very good, with very close collaboration with Volvo, Scania. I think it's a very good course if you want to look into that aspect, but all depends on your.
And one aspect of product design program is that it has one of its own kind and pioneer research cell and casting innovation cell, which is one of its own kind in the world. And the faculty here, they supervise the PhDs of many IITs and Roorkees in India. So it's a highly qualified faculty and a research cell which is connected all around the world. And the casting innovation workshop, which is one of its own kind in the world. And they give a lot of exposure to our incoming full-time students. They have their own workstations dedicated to a particular student, and they have a lot of opportunity to work, recreate, innovate, and work on designs.
Yep. I was especially pointing to these programs because I've been closely collaborated like many of my students, and we also have some courses like which collide with them. So the person who's heading this is Lars Eriksson. I think he's still there. He is one of the best, if you say, the product designers in the whole of Europe. And he works really closely with companies, as I was pointing, Volvo and Scania. And all those project work that they're doing is especially from those programs. Even IT Cell is quite collaborating. Like when I did my thesis, we were working for the project that had a combination of Volvo, even Scania was there, and Thule was there, much into like automated testing through like a lot of advanced programs. So that, and especially with in terms of business school, I think logistic is a very good scope. As I was saying, like logistic Jönköping is one of the biggest logistic hub. It's like in the center of Europe. So companies like IKEA, even like some post companies, like when I was working in Bring. So all these have their warehouses in Jönköping, and that
their warehouses and their distribution centers. In fact, IKEA has the world's largest distribution center in Jönköping. So the strategic E4 highway, that crosses through Jönköping, and it gives it a very strategic location. Jönköping is basically known as the logistical hub of Northern Europe, and it creates in a way some sort of work opportunities for Jönköping University students. Our students find a lot of part-time jobs in these distribution centers, and Asman has had good experience of that, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, I've worked in Bring, one of the biggest logistic companies in Sweden. So it's very strategically located. Like, if you all the goods that is moving in Sweden is especially moving from Jönköping. Like, even maybe it's Stockholm or Gothenburg or any other counties. Yeah, so those were some programs that I wanted to talk about. There are a lot more, covered in this slide: AI engineering, digital business, then global studies, some business programs, also logistic, marketing, and list goes on in the second slide as well. So let's cover quickly what are the requirements. The requirements for high school is the condition like that you have to have a high school diploma, or it could be a conditional offer before you graduate, like that you're graduating in some months. The transcripts, passport copy, letter of motivation, and the IELTS score that would be around 6.5 and above. So the admission period is again October 16th, Sayed, if I'm not wrong. Starting
no, it is from this year. It is from October 18 until May 2nd. But I strongly advise those who are interested in applying to make their application as soon as the application opens, because it's a rolling admissions process. And as soon as your application is being processed, you are offered a study place. And it happens. It has happened this year as well that some of the programs filled up quite quickly, and we had to say no to further applications.
Yep. So that's about bachelor's. Master's is also quite similar. Like, it's a bachelor diploma with bachelor diploma, like what we call a bachelor's degree, or either with a conditional offer, the transcripts of that, passport copy, letter of motivation, proof of English proficiency, and you must meet the requirement of specific programs. Like, when I talk about requirements of specific programs, that means like if you are looking for some courses, maybe like AI engineering or user experience design, then it could be like you might be needed some credits from certain programs. It could be mathematics, it could be computers. So that is something I would recommend to check based on your interest, like if you are fulfilling the criteria of those courses. Yep, and then fees and scholarship. So this is a rough figure somewhere, how much is cost. So bachelor tuition fees around 9,500 to 12,000 euro, masters around 11,000 to 13,000 euro, that is per year. Application fees is 100 euro. We do have a scholarship also that covers 30% of your tuition fees. That is a separate application that you have to apply apart from your admission. And the cost of living, according to Swedish standards or the European standards, can be around 800 euro per month. So all of these food fees and figures that we talked about would be into the local currency of Sweden, that is Swedish krona, SEK, if what we generally call. And some services that I want to talk about is like the accommodation, especially for international students, is guaranteed. Like we have seen at many places, like when you opt for accommodation from the university, it shows like it's full, but that is something we are promising. Like once you apply an accommodation with the university, there is a guaranteed accommodation, and that would be given to you. When you arrive at Sweden, especially in Jönköping, you will be given a free pickup service, depending you inform like that when you'll be arriving and you'll be picked up. Then a very important part is the introductory week, where actually you will be introduced all around the city, around the university, around different things. So that's a good thing, like where you blend into the Swedish culture. So that we call a kickoff week, basically in the university, where you're introduced to new friends, and then you collaborate a lot with the current students. A lot of parties, a lot of information, a lot of things goes on. Then we have also contact students and family, where if you opt, you could be given a contact family in Sweden, or maybe a family or a student, depending on what you choose. So that will help, that person can help you blend into the culture quite fast. Student activities, so there are clubs. So university has its own club. That is something, Sayed, I can speak about it, right? Just kidding.
Yeah, sure, Asman. Sure, you
Okay.
experience it.
Yeah. So University Student Association, as we call it, JCA. So that has its own clubs. That university has its own club, like where we have a party every Wednesday. The kickoff week, it's all open. So that's one way, like the Swedes enjoy. It's like a midway party in one Wednesday, midweek party. Then we have many things coming up, like event trips and different activities inside the university that is happening all around the year. Then medical health insurance is something that is covered by in your education. Largest exchange network that we already talked about. Swedish courses is something which would be free of cost. Like if you want to, if you are more interested in learning Swedish, that's also is offered inside the university and also by the commune, where you can go and learn to speak and learn Swedish. Work permit, yes, if you find a job, which eventually I think most of us find. So that also is something part. And also apart from this, some experiences like they help you also with like how to find a job, how do you want to, there is a career center with whom you can take help to brush up your CV, like how because the CV all around the world works very differently. So we have a career center also, which is helping you how the your CV should look like, how should you apply. Then they're also helping you having a mock interview, which helps you prepare like how you should be talking to different companies, how you should be approaching them, on how you should be writing mails, because culture differs. Like if you talk about India, it's a lot different culture. If you talk about US, it would be different, but then you talk about any region in the world. So that differs. So this is how we are helping the international students to like get into the community and also to gain the experience fast. That was pretty much it from my side. And as I was saying, like I'm an alumni from the university, so we can also ask questions about my study experience. I already talked a bit in between a lot. So yeah, you're open for questions, Richard, or Sayed, if you want to talk about.
Basically, for the lovely introduction of the university, John Hopkins, and for for sharing your experience also. Probably you didn't say much about the clubs, but other than that, thank you for sharing everything. There are certain questions. One, basically, the question that probably basically that came quite a few is about the work permit. Are students allowed to stay back? How long? And is career support service available from the university? Is there a job fair? Those questions.
Yeah, I would like to answer that question. When it comes to work permits, when it comes to work, students are normally allowed to work full time. There is no ceiling on work. Like in UK or in Australia, you have 20 hours of work per week, not more than that. But here in Sweden, there's no such compulsions. You can work as long as you have the work. But I mean, a smart student would always try to balance out studies and work. There are part-time jobs. I do not have the statistics, but normally from my experience, I can say that the students that I have recruited, most of them do their part-time jobs in and around Jönköping. And this is a student's, particularly a student city, which has grown in these last 15 years, grown from a population of 90,000 to 150,000 now in 10 years. So it's a population center now. And it's not that difficult to find part-time jobs, provided your motivation level and your job hunting skills. So when it comes to work permit, there's a Swedish requirement that you should earn at least 13,000 Swedish kron before taxes in order to apply for a work permit. And once you are on work permit, your education becomes free. You don't have to practically pay for your education or anything. As a student, you have the access to healthcare, very much like a Swedish citizen. They don't differentiate. Most of the students who have come here now, they are receiving their Moderna and Pfizer vaccinations for free. So the healthcare works pretty much the same for everyone, those who have their personal numbers. It doesn't differentiate between, on the basis of nationalities or citizenship. As long as you have the necessary personal number, which all of you will get, you can avail all the services, healthcare services, legal services, and all other services, ancillary services that are required.
So,
and I forgot to say about job fairs. Yes, from time to time we have company visits. We have fairs that are organized with collaboration of the with the industries that we collaborate with. 750 small and big companies in and around Jönköping and outside of Jönköping County, some local companies that we collaborate with. So they do their fairs. And we, as Usman pointed out during the presentation, that we have a career center. They help they help to groom you. They also act as facilitators of information. They act as platforms where students get to know about incoming job positions, research positions, or internships and things like those. They also teach you and train you how to formulate your CVs, how to structure your CVs, and how to apply for jobs. And then they also act as information platforms where they let particular students know or group of students know that there are internships and jobs in in their own fields and things like those.
perfect. Just one thing, basically, after the program, how much time is given for a student to find a job?
12 months of stay back. This is kind of a work permit that you get after completion of your education. You get 1 year stay back.
Perfect. Now, very important is basically it is mostly an English-speaking country. Though Swedish is an official language, but most of them speak English, and the entire program is in English. Finding
I can throw some light to. I know there are participants who have questions about Swedish language, and this is a question that we cannot duck. And the question may be that not knowing the language, how much does it affect your daily life, not knowing the language? I have been living in Sweden for now 17 years. I have worked in 3 different sectors of the economy: banking, logistics, and now education and research. I don't know Swedish language. I've been working here. As long as you have the necessary skills, you don't need to learn the language. But my advice is, and I strongly advise everyone who comes to Sweden, is to learn the language at the first opportunity that you get, because it helps you integrate into the Swedish society quickly. It helps you navigate through the Swedish system. So it's always good to learn the language, and there are so many language schools that offer free language courses, SFE for instance, and then Eductus, and there are many more. When you have your personal number, you can apply for these language for immigrants, and you get it for free. I mean, these courses are free for all the immigrants, maybe asylum seekers or students, international students, or people who move to Sweden due to work and all those things. So language is something that adds feather to your cap. You should learn the language, but it doesn't affect your employability. Not knowing the language does not affect your employability or your job, as long as you're working. Let's say, for example, you're working in a design, department of IKEA or Volvo or Scania or, Tetra Pak or or you are an IT consultant. You don't need to learn the language. You need to know the right skills. Actually, language comes into play when you seek jobs in healthcare, because, an 8-year-old or a 5-year-old child would only know Swedish, not English, But I mean, as an example of my own self, I don't know the language, neither does my family. So we are doing fine. We have no problems. I have worked, as I said to you, I worked in different sectors of the economy, and I don't find it difficult to navigate myself or to, do my daily things. It doesn't affect me in any way. But knowing the language also increases your job opportunities. It increases, but it doesn't in any way. Not knowing the language does not affect your job opportunities or your employability. As long as you know your necessary skills, if you are a mechanical engineer or your IT consultant, you know your stuff well, then it's okay. No problem. And each year I see so many people from India coming in here, and they're just doing fine. A lot of students who've settled here, and they basically, once you complete your education and you land into a job, you are just fine. You don't even have the time to learn the language, because 8 hours a day you're giving to your work, and then you're coming back, and then but then when it comes to the easiest way is while you are still at the university, you have a lot of time, you can learn the language.
Perfect.
And it's free.
Well said, Syed. I totally agree that learning language gives you the flexibility, makes you more employable. It doesn't reduces your employability chance, but it makes you more, because the company knows that you know the local language as well, and gives you the freedom, basically.
But if you look at the statistics from big companies like Volvo and all those companies, or even mid-level companies, all those technical people or managerial level people, they don't know the language. Sweden is notoriously, I am using the word notorious, it's very international. They're notorious for hiring people from outside of EU. We have every single day I bump into someone who's new here, coming either from India or from the subcontinent or from Spain or from Latin America, because they have the right necessary skills and they are here. And now then it's up to them to choose and think whether or not it's feasible to learn the language. But it always does good when you're planning to have when you're planning to have a family and settle in here. It eventually helps you to that you have the language skill.
Perfect. Sweden is
even your PR. Many countries in Europe have a requirement of language. Say for instance, Germany, you cannot have your permanent residence in Germany as long as you don't know German. But it does not. In Sweden, no. It does not affect your application. Even Norway has this, that you must have the A levels, or I think C level of knowledge of Norwegian in order to get a PR, but not in Sweden.
Okay, perfect. There's a query from Mandeep Sherry, who says, what are courses of biology student and scope in health services? So he wants to do, I guess he must have done his bachelor's in biology and looking for master's in health related services.
Mandeep, I'm so sorry. We do not have a classical biology master's here. Unfortunately, we don't. But then there are other universities that you may apply to. Normally, Swedish universities, except for Uppsala, they don't deal with classical courses like masters in pure physics or masters in biology or plant physiology and things like those. No, they, from the very beginning, from the word go, they have specializations. Each master, each bachelor starts with a specialization. For instance, we have sustainable supply chain management, which is an industrial engineering bachelor's and is a specialization at the bachelor's level. It's an industrial engineering, the degree is industrial engineering, and the specialization is supply chain and logistics, for instance, or sustainability. So as far as this university is concerned, we do not have a master's degree program that we may offer you in biology, in life sciences.
My apologies, he's looking for bachelor's.
I'm sorry?
He's looking for bachelor's. Yeah.
Okay. We have one thing that may be related or could help you, that is prosthetics and orthotics, more into biotechnology. But that is something based on your interest, if you want to pursue those are on the equipments which help in the medical field. So that is one good area, I think, which our university is progressing.
But the prosthetics and orthotics are offered at the bachelor's level.
Yeah, he's looking at bachelor's level. My mistake.
Okay. Yeah. Then this is a program that you can apply to. Prosthetics and orthotics. It's at bachelor's level.
And the intake is in October.
Intake is in August, September 2022. We just have, all Swedish universities have one intake, annual intake in fall.
Fine. And it is, as you mentioned, there you have a rolling intake. So the early you apply, the better your admission chances because of
Yes,
limited seats.
yes.
You mentioned about 100 euros as application fee.
Yes.
So is there any waiver for the students who are participating in this webinar for an application fee waiver?
Unfortunately, no, Richard. I so wanted it, and I've been fighting for it for a long time, for a decade now. But this university is an autonomous university which can make its own rules. But there are certain rules that comes from the Swedish UHR, and this is the payment of 900 SEK or 100 euros is among one of those rules that we do not have control over. So all students, irrespective of any background, they must pay, as long as they are non-EU, they have to pay 900 Swedish krona or 100 euros as application processing.
One other important thing also you mentioned is the tuition fees are quite affordable. What about the accommodation and living cost? How is it?
The accommodation and living, as Asman says, together the cost comes around 800, and that is the Swedish Migration Board's requirement when you apply for Swedish residence permit for studies. But normally Indian students, they are able to do well around 500, 550 euros. Living expenses can be expanded depending on your lifestyle. But normally a student, I can say from experience that it comes about 500 to 600 euros, not more than that.
Thank Asman for basically posting the link. Thank you. There's one last query basically. This query is about. It says basically, about international students basically, and can we connect to some of the international students from India if provided, during the application process or after the admission?
Yes, sure. I mean, those who want to connect to an international student from India, they are more than welcome to contact me and Asman. Asman being one of the international students and alumni of the School of Engineering of our university. And besides him, we have others as well that we can connect you to. You're more than welcome to do that.
There's one more question basically, which is basically you have already answered that. During the summer break and the winter break, I guess you have mentioned that anyway there are no restrictions of 20 hours per week, so you are allowed to work full time during those breaks. Am I right?
Yes, not just during those breaks, entire year, as long as you're able to, balance out between your work and your studies. We don't have a ceiling of 20 hours or so. Yeah, normally students are allowed to work. There are many students who are able to work, but then they are smart students. They know how much to work and balance out on their studies. Because I have also seen instances where students started and they landed into jobs that were full-time not like office jobs, but they started as part-time workers, but then in the same organizations, in the same warehouses or restaurants or logistics companies or shopping malls, they got this job, and then their education suffered a lot. They were not able, because they were getting a handsome amount of money, and then they just left education, which is something I don't advise, because there's going to be a time in your life when you would wish you had not done that.
True. Totally agree. One last, I'm saying one last, but one pops up again. The question is on visa. How easy and difficult it is to get visa? How much time does it take?
It may take 4 to 6 weeks. And if they are all your papers, that the migration board requires, then a visa is not a problem. Visa is not going to be an issue. Even when you have rejections. I mean, in the past, I have had questions from people. I'm so many years of age. I'm like 50. Will this affect my visa? I have been rejected by US Embassy. I have been rejected by Canadian visa organization. These things do not matter. We have our own set of rules and our own operations. As long as you have your necessary documents and your finances ready, visa residence permit. In your case, in the student's case, it's not visa, it's going to be residence permits, and it is not handled by the local embassy at Delhi. It is going to be handled by Swedish Migrationsverket or the Swedish Migration Board. And I don't think it's going to be any problems. Normally, visa, the success rates have been tremendously high.
Perfect. So you are going to apply for a long-term visa. So
yeah, I mean, you get 2 years visa now. For they are not all university students get 2 years visa. There are 5 universities, Jönköping being one of them, who have participated in this pilot project with Migrations Board. Those who apply, the bona fide students from this university who get admitted here at Jönköping University, they can opt for 1 year or 2 year visa. So you get visa for your entire duration. So it saves you a lot of money and efforts. You know, you just have to have the right finances in your bank account, and you will get a 2 year visa for the entire duration.
Okay, before we end, I would request you both to talk about a few selling points about Jönköping University, and we end this. Thank you, and back to you again. Any final words from your side?
All of you are welcome to apply. The application dates are 18th of October until 2nd of May. And then you also get 15 days after 2nd of May to submit your application. But those are very busy times. This year we had to say no to a high number of students because the places were all filled up. Although due to COVID reasons, the numbers were not up to the 2018 mark. And then the last date to apply for scholarships is 15th of April. And any one of you, I mean, those of you who wish to apply, it's normally recommended that you hand in your scholarship applications together with your normal application for studies.
I forgot to mention about the scholarship. Asman, anything final words from your end?
I'll say have a look at the university, have a look at Sweden, what it is, and what they have given to the world. So especially the innovative things that they have been doing, that brings a sense of you to learn, to grow, and also the thinking, like the critical thinking that we as an Indians are used to, not used to. Like basically we're not so much creative in that sense. So that sense would obviously give you a boom to your career. That is what I have seen there and I've learned. So all the best, and just do a bit of research if you do want to apply, and even if you don't want to apply, just please have a look at there.
Thank you, Asman. Thank you, Syed, for basically for being here, for explaining, for answering all the questions. Pleasure to have you both. And probably we know you'll have a couple of students' applications from us.
I hope so.
Thank you very much.
All of you are so welcome to be part of Jönköping University, and all the best for your careers.
Thank you.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. Thanks.
Bye. Take
Bye,
care.
guys.
Bye. Take care.